I'm Gary Backlund, and we're just a little ways north of Ladysmith across the harbor. And this is Managed Forest 127. We're about 70 acres in size, but the actual forestry aspect of it is probably more between 50 and 60 once you take out the house sites and the meadows and the pond and that sort of thing. And we bought the property because we wanted elbow room, but we found that we had a large component of maple, and myself being a third generation woodworker and carpenter, we saw high value in the maple. So we started by bringing a sawmill in every year or two and milling up maple logs, and then we would air dry the maple and then sell it. And eventually we went to buying our own mill and setting it up permanently in this location. And now we mill maple, alder, arbutus, the occasional dogwood that comes down on its own, fir and cedar, but our specialty still is maple. The mill is all manual. It's very inexpensive actually. It was, I think, around $7,000 when we bought it. It's easily cut 4 times that much wood, probably more than that. We found that if you cut maple or alder and you sell it right away, you only get about 1/3 of the value. If you can air dry it, you'll get much more value for your lumber. So that's what we do. It takes 1 summer per inch to air dry it if you sticker it. You don't want it in a shady location. You don't want it in a sunny location, somewhere in between. Some people will paint the ends of the logs. If you don't, there's a tendency for them to check quite a bit. And you can see on this log, it's checked here. We want to let wood do what it's going to do. For the fanatic woodworkers, you want to age the log before you mill it, and that way the stresses come off. No tree is perfectly straight up and down, so you'll get some trees with a bit of an angle, or most trees I should say, some with a lot of angle. And what happens is you get compression wood and tension wood because of the angle. And when you saw it, it releases that tension and compression, and the wood moves, or it cracks. So we're a firm believer in letting the log, cutting it to length first of all, and then letting the log age, then milling it, and then after that we'll dry it. And at that point, once it's dried, then we'll market it. The amount of wood we cut here varies tremendously. We often harvest just blowdowns some years. Some years we'll actually go out and we'll thin a stand and harvest, do stand improvement. We'll even do patch cuts occasionally. When we have the time and the energy, we've done as many as 12,000 board feet of maple in 1 year. I didn't cut that much. I brought in a mill for that. But normally we try and cut whatever we sell the year before and keep our stock at a certain level. And one of the problems, of course, is we have sheds for drying, and the sheds get full if we cut too much. So it's basically, it varies so much. These logs right here, when you look at them, they're very ugly. Most people would think that, they're not even firewood. But what we've done here on purpose is to age these logs past their best before date. And what happens is they start to spalt, which they get this black fungus lines in it. So this log and the one that's on the mill is from the same tree, and this board came off that one yesterday. And you can see the beautiful colors in it. Now some people don't like that, some people love it, but it is actually higher value for us. We can sell it a lot, well, for more money, is what I'm trying to say. We also get some fairly high-end wood occasionally. So this is quilted maple, and this is fiddleback or flame or curly grain, whatever you want to call it. If you get the right wood in either one of these, it's worth a fortune. It's easily $1,000. Well, no, it's more than that. It's about $3,000 for 1,000 board feet of it. And you can actually have pieces like this that are 3 foot long that sell for $300. So it's good because it's for the musical instrument trade. Fresh cut maple usually sells for somewhere between 75 cents and $1 a board foot. So that's basically a piece 1 inch thick by 12 inches wide by a foot long. Once it's air dried, it's about $3 a board foot. We get an extra $1 a board foot or so for the spalted, sometimes more. And for the fiddleback and the quilted, you might be looking as much as $10 a board foot. So there's high value if you can get the right log. Marketing has been quite easy with the maple. We started before the internet. At that point, we'd have to advertise in some of the free ad magazines, things like that. But once we sold some wood, the word got out. One day we had a fellow show up from Victoria. He had heard in Victoria that somebody in Ladysmith was selling wood, and he tracked us down. He had to go to 4 or 5 places, and he overshot a few times, but he found us. And we've had people come from the mainland for wood, from Ucluelet and Tofino. So there is a demand for the product. And now with the internet, of course, with some of the buy and sell sites that are on the internet, like Craigslist and Used and IMO, we do very well. We can sell as much as we want to sell. And lately I've been turning down orders because we're trying to finish our own house and we're saving the best for ourselves. Once we're done, then we'll start selling again. The uses for the maple are primarily woodworking, furniture making, musical instruments. It's just been discovered, the big leaf maple, as one of the best musical instrument tone woods. So that's one of the markets that's more lucrative. It also does get used for flooring. And for trim around windows and doors, casings, baseboards, that sort of thing, cabinets.